It's just an agenda, what's going on, that's all it is, right? Yeah.
If she falls backwards and bumps you, I'm okay with that. This is nice.
I got you. She's due, huh? I understand. You need it. Sit down. Come at it.
My special friend. He sits next to her.
I'd like to call the meeting to order. If you would join me in a pledge of allegiance. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Okay, we're trying something new tonight.
just want to announce that we are recording, or should, Mark, should I say we're trying to record?
It's set up.
Okay. Okay, over the last week or two, we did get new microphones in here, they're in the ceiling, and we did get a new computer to, record everything. So if everything works, it should be up and running, and we're gonna review it tomorrow morning, and if everything's a go, what are you gonna do, Mark?
So when it's all set up, we have set up a YouTube page for the township, and so we'll put the link on the website, and then you guys can go there, link to it, and then each month we'll put the, meeting audio up there. So it should go from here forward, and that's, the nice thing is then they live there, so you can go back and look at any old ones there.
And the video, correct? The
Yeah,
video.
audio, video, yeah.
Okay, so Mary Ann, what should you say here, right under the mic?
I was on.
You might wanna move.
Yeah, I was like, I just want to say, we were here first, we should have asked this, we said we wanted.
Okay, hate to put James out of work back there.
Give credit where credit is due.
Okay.
When Brittany uploads them first, I
Okay.
don't have to, I thank her.
All right. Okay, this time we'll recognize the public. If you would go to the microphone and try to limit it to 5 minutes so we can get everybody in. The first person we have is James Zander.
I'm going to request your indulgence. This has been dropping down in time with each passing week. It's been 3 weeks in the making. I will not ask questions throughout the rest of the meeting to try and help make up for that. Good evening. My name is James Zander, and I am a 20-plus year resident of Conewago Township. I come before you tonight not out of frustration, but out of a deep and genuine responsibility to the people who live here, who have built their lives here, raised their families here, and who deserve to be truly heard and truly protected by the people elected to serve them. Tonight, I am officially announcing my candidacy for Township Supervisor. Over the last several years, our township has changed, and not always in ways that put the people already living here first. Warehouses have been approved directly against residential neighborhoods, tractor trailers now travel rural roads that were never designed for them. Families wait in traffic for extended periods just to leave their own neighborhoods. Residents are forced to take longer routes around just to run an errand. And what makes this hard to accept is that I later learned directly from the PennDOT engineer that he warned this township that the intersection at Cloverleaf could not support the new truck traffic, and his professional opinion was set aside not once, but now 3 warehouses there, as 2 additional are on their way. Our residents didn't just lose time in traffic, they lost trust. And that trust has continued to erode across many fronts. Residents have had to file right-to-know requests just to understand what is happening in their own township. They attend planning commission meetings, zoning meetings, and supervisor meetings faithfully, and still leave without knowing the current capacity of our schools, the limits of our sewer system, and even what the most recent traffic studies actually said before new development was voted on. When residents ask direct questions, they are randomly pointed somewhere else. When they bring months of written research and public comment, as they did for 8 months on the subject of the data centers, they watch that input go largely unaddressed in the rough draft. And when a resident stood at a public meeting and asked whether any supervisor had ever signed a non-disclosure agreement related to proposed development in this township, that question was not answered with a unanimous no. That is not transparency, and it is not what the people of Conewago Township deserve. Now I want to speak directly to something that does not get discussed enough at these meetings, and it must be. Every time new residential development is approved in this township, existing residents are being asked quietly, gradually, and without their full formed consent to help pay for it. New homes mean new students in our schools. New students mean new demands on school capacity. New demands on school capacity eventually mean new construction, new buildings, new staff, expanded programs. And when that bill comes due, it does not only fall on the shoulders of the new families who moved in. It falls on every property owner in this township. It falls on the couple who bought their home 30 years ago and are now on a fixed income. It falls on retirees who did everything right, worked hard, paid their taxes, stayed in this community they love, and now they're slowly being priced out of it by rising property taxes, driven by growth they had no meaningful voice in approving. That is not right, and I intend to try and do something about it. I believe we must attempt to pursue lawful avenues available to us to ensure the financial burden of new residential growth is carried by new residential growth, not redistributed onto the backs of the people who are already here. That means a serious, thorough review of at least the residential construction fees, permit fees, sewer hookup fees, and developed impact fees to ensure that what is being charged to new development actually reflects the true cost it places on our infrastructure, our schools, and our existing residential community. If current fees fall short of that, we have an obligation to explore what the law will allow us to do to close that gap. Existing residents should not be the ones making up the difference. And I believe that when new residential development is proposed, the school board's own projections on expected attendance increases that are tied to that development must be made known, not buried, not available only to those who know to ask, but publicly disclosed at the zoning meeting, at the planning commission meeting, at the board of supervisor meetings before any vote is considered. I don't consider this a courtesy. I don't consider this optional. It must be codified as a written obligation of all three boards. If the school board has data showing that a proposed development will bring 200 new students into a district where our schools are already approaching capacity, every resident sitting in this room or watching a video has a right to be told that, because they are the ones who will be living with the consequences and potentially paying for the new schools. The same transparency must apply to our sewer system. Before any new public sewer line development is approved, the current capacity of our sewer infrastructure must be publicly stated. Residents have a right to know how close we are to the limits of what our system can handle, what additional connections may cost to accommodate. Will they handle the new accommodations? The citizens have a right to know this. That answer needs to be on the table before any vote, not disclosed afterward or discovered by happenstance. I believe the existing residents of Conewago Township must come first, not as a campaign slogan, but as a written, codified commitment backed by ordinance and policy. This is what I intend to work for. I believe this township should adopt a residential bill of rights, a formal written foundation that places existing residents farther at the center of every major land use and development decision. I believe no supervisor should be permitted to sign any NDA related to proposed development and or zoning changes, and that any developer approach to any business board of supervisor, whether past or future, planning or zoning board member, must be required to be publicly disclosed at the next available meeting. I believe that before any new development is heard, residents must be informed in a public meeting of the current status of our schools, our sewer system, and our roads, with updated impact studies for all three required and disclosed before any vote takes place. I believe those who build large-scale industry adjacent to residential neighborhoods should be somehow lawfully financially accountable through lawful ordinance for damage caused to nearby property values, quality of life, and the character of existing neighborhoods. I believe new growth must not continue to drive retirees and long-term residents out of the township they built through ever-rising property taxes caused by new development they were never truly empowered to weigh in on. I believe every zoning and planning meeting in this township should honor the same right to public comment that our founding fathers enshrined in the First Amendment, and that our supervisor meetings thankfully allow. But these should be codified into written rules and standard operating procedures, not subject to the discretion of whoever is sitting up there on a given night on another board. These are not just beliefs. I am committed to pursuing every lawful ordinance change, every written policy, and every standard operating procedure needed to make them real and durable so that they outlast any one supervisor's term and hopefully become the permanent standard by which this township operates. I spent the last 8 months attending these meetings, watching, listening, taking mental notes of who is showing up, who is asking hard questions, and who is genuinely engaging on behalf of the residents. I will continue to show up, I will continue to ask those questions, and I will work with anyone, regardless of party position or history, who is genuinely committed to putting the existing residents of Conewago Township first. But I want to say something plainly, because I believe the residents of this township have earned plain speech. I would not stand here tonight and ask for your trust simply because I am unhappy with what I have seen. That is not enough. Dissatisfaction is not a platform. Frustration is not a plan. And if any person intends to ask the residents of this township, residents who have already had their trust broken, to place that trust in them as a voice for hopeful real change, then that person owes these residents something concrete and public before they ask for a single vote. You deserve to know before you decide exactly what a candidate intends to attempt to do on your behalf. You deserve a clear written platform of intended action, not a vague promise of change, not a declaration made months ago followed by silence, but a specific accounting of what that person believes, what they intend to pursue, and what lawful tools they are committed to using to try and protect you.
James, if you would, follow,
30 seconds.
okay? Because we're well past the 5-minute mark. And we want to give everybody a chance.
I say this because that is what you deserve from anyone who has to be your voice. No less, not eventually, but now, when I am actually announcing my candidacy. People of this township have lost enough trust already. I see it in the meetings. I do not intend to ask any of you to extend more of it on faith alone. I humbly ask for your support, your trust, and the opportunity to earn both, starting tonight. With everything I have said, with my Facebook candidacy page that has my full platform in writing and in details of what I want to do, that will be made public later tonight. If you will only give me that chance, I will try to be your voice starting this November. If you write my name in, James Zander.
Thank you, Mr. Zander. That didn't sound like a comment, it sounded like a campaign speech. Okay, the next one is Bethany Hinman. Let's try to keep it at 5 minutes, or we'll be here all night.
I'm just a little concerned the township advertising the curative amendment as a moratorium. You've got language in your resolution, and I've heard you say it, claiming that you can stop an application. If a developer puts in an application for a data center as a use not provided for, you cannot use a curative amendment to stop it. It is not a moratorium.
Disagree. And then that's exactly why we did it that way, we are doing a curative amendment on ourselves, therefore we can freeze legally to do that. So, well, I don't wanna argue with you, Beth, and that was clear advice from our attorney to do it this way, so I believe we are connected. Beth, Brett Flower.
The Supreme Court of Pennsylvania has weighed in that their townships do not have any enabling legislation to enact moratoriums, even temporary ones. Curative amendments don't protect against development, they protect against validity challenges.
Okay.
So, I mean, I can cite court case law. I'd like to have something from her in writing at the next meeting to explain how she thinks that this is a moratorium, because it is not.
Okay, we're gonna have another workshop. The last workshop we had, it was zoning and, well, it was planning and the supervisors, and it was not
I was there.
yeah, that's when you can ask these questions.
I can ask those questions now.
Well, yeah, but Brett's not here to answer.
Oh, it's a comment, she doesn't have to answer, but I would like an answer, because you cannot present a curative amendment as a moratorium, that's
Okay,
not
we'll
what it
get the
is.
answer for you.
So what was your goal in doing it? Because you said you wanted to have more time, so curative amendment does nothing but put a deadline that you have to meet now. That's kind of the opposite of what you say you're trying to do here.
This is a public comment section, it's not a question and answer.
You don't have to answer, I'm making my comments.
Okay.
They can be open-ended questions that you don't answer, that's fine, that's how it works.
Okay, we'll get some answers for you. Thank you.
You're afraid I'm gonna take the whole 5 minutes?
If you have something more, go ahead. Okay, Sherry Ripito?
So, Sherry Ripito, 495 Lakes Mill Road. So, I went to the National Night Out last night with Dover. I want to tell you, it was very nice. But I would like to see us there. I would like to see a table with Conewago. I'm gonna tell you, it was so Dover, it was kind of sick. There was nobody there but Dover. And that's what I would like to see us have something there. I'm sure we have people who would volunteer, whether it's citizens or whatever, that we could have a table out there. I mean, I had 6 grandchildren there. They did have a ball. I'm gonna tell you that. They did have a really good time, but I would like to see us represented, because it was, instead of being a national night out for all, all of us with the police department, it was Dover.
Well, the thing is, National Night Out is to get the first responders all together, the police officers and everything. So it really isn't about any particular township. Even though it was in Dover, it was in Dover Borough.
It was all Dover,
Yeah.
like, it was high school, it was the kids, I mean, it'd be nice, they were, Democratic, Republicans, all that kind of stuff there too. But it would be nice to have, we could set a tent up and go out there, it wouldn't hurt. Everybody spend an hour there,
Okay.
it'd be done. Quick question for Derek?
Well,
Yes.
real quick, so I was gonna say, Mark, can we check with maybe Dover, did they have tables out for Dover
Mhm.
Township?
Yeah, the township was there, because I know them, because my son-in-law used to work for them.
Yeah,
So
we
I know
can
them.
do anything you want.
Yeah, let's
All
do
you
that.
have to do is
I think it's a good idea.
reserve.
I think it is. I think that we need to be seen. We need to get our community involved more. And if we don't do things, we're not gonna get them involved. And that's where, I'm talking, I'd like to see everybody get to know each other better and do these kind of things.
Yeah.
Even if we do something in our own township.
Yeah.
We need to do something, because we don't do anything but come here and bang our heads against the wall and go through stuff. But, quick question for Derek, if that's okay?
Mhm.
My question is, the new warehouses that are going up, so they have brick walls up that, because they're up on the hill to stop the erosion, but have you ever looked to see that their water pipes come right out to them houses behind them? Did you notice that?
You're talking about the retaining walls that are there?
And they have a drainage, and it goes, I know there's a lot of elderly over there, I believe, and that water goes right to the back of their house. Is that legal?
I'll take a look at it.
Are you talking about small pipes?
They're about like that.
Just to protect the wall.
They're not.
Is that what that is?
Green.
Okay.
Yeah, I get what you're saying now. Yeah, they're not, they're basically
Okay,
weed
I was
poles.
just asking, because I didn't know, I drive by there and I'm like,
Yeah, they're weed poles for the walls. The roof leaders and all of the drainage for the building goes into the storm sewer, which goes into the storm sewer basins.
okay. See, I'm just asking, because
That's a good question.
I don't know these
The
things.
big tall walls like that, they get a lot of water behind them, they push them. So they have stone and drainage behind
So
them.
they goes down.
Any groundwater.
Okay, that makes sense.
Would exit out of it. I mean, it's very, very low.
Okay, that makes total sense.
And
I just,
Johnstown Fire Company was there.
oh, were they? I just wondered, because I was going through during that major, I got caught in that major rain going by there the other day, like it wasn't raining, and I got there. And I questioned that, but I never, every time I come, I forget to ask, so. I'm good.
And you didn't come to the window for a pizza.
No, I didn't, no offense, but my granddaughter ate that pizza and has been deathly ill all day today. I got the hot dog. That's wrong, were you hiding in there? We were looking for you.
Oh, I gave out,
Brittany, there we go.
I gave out, it was Pizza Hut pizza.
Yeah,
So
it made her sick.
Yeah, I don't know why it would have made her sick. because we, Dover, right there on Carlisle Road, the Pizza Hut brought us 80 pizzas.
That's really nice.
And it was, 16 pieces cut, and so it was 1,280 slices of pizza I handed out
I
last
worked in
night.
the cafeteria in Northeastern, so like, after working there, I can tell you there are so many different ways that you can get sick from
Yeah.
other people
Yeah.
touching and, yeah, I'm like very.
Well, as soon as we got the pizzas, they brought 30 in, and, we all had gloves on, and we handed them out, and then they brought another
See, but it could
30.
be before you.
Yeah,
It could be the
yeah.
prep area, it could be, I think you do ours.
Yeah, so I'm sure we didn't have 1,280 people.
No, I just, it could take one person to touch one of something and start it off, so. But
Right.
that's it, thank you.
Thank you. And thanks for attending.
We had fun, kids had fun, we were loaded to jump if we were leaving, some lady gave us a bag, she felt.
Oh, yeah, they do
She
get
felt
bags out with a lot of,
Mother daughter.
okay, is this Cameron Durr?
Good evening, everybody. I am Cameron Durr. I'm representing Wellington Investment Group on Phil Garland's behalf. He's not going to be here for the meeting, so I just wanted to make sure that I put it out there that that's who I am and what I'm here for. Thank you.
Okay, thank you. Mary Ann Albright? Oh, I did want to say one thing, with, James Sander. No, James, I never signed a non-disclosure agreement with anybody. John,
No, never signed.
Brian?
No, I never have, I even made a public comment a meeting or two ago that we as a township have never done that in the 14 years that I've been here. We've never been asked to sign a non-disclosure agreement even.
So I definitely wanted to go on record for that. All right,
Yeah, it's in the minutes.
okay. Mary Ann Albright?
Mary Ann Albright, 775 Green Springs Road. This is gonna shock you, this has nothing to do with Cloverleaf Road or the data centers.
What?
You're all sitting
What?
down. I know, right?
I'm disappointed.
I thought you might.
You want me to come up with something?
No, no.
That's me.
So, I do have questions for Mark. I know it's not a question and answer period, but, the York County Coalition on Homelessness reached out to you. Well, I did some, digging a little bit, and, in 2020, there were 15 children that were homeless, 2021, 20, 2022, 28, 2023, 49, 2025, 71, and 2026, 86 students.
Northeastern?
Northeastern, yes. So the reason, I'm very passionate about children, so, if you wanted to talk to somebody from Northeastern, and I can give you the paperwork that I have here, Mark, but, Dr. Jefferson Clifton, he's at Mount Wolf Elementary School, he's the principal, and he's in charge of recording, and that's just who the teachers that know who they, is on the homeless, and plus, there's something called, a McKinley-Vento enrollment questionnaire, and I think what people miss is homelessness, their current living situation, they're either in a shelter, they're unsheltered, they're doubled up, motel, hotel, and transitional housing. The reason for this loss of housing could be eviction, fire, natural disaster, abandonment, domestic violence, hospitalization of a parent or guardian, incarceration of a parent or guardian, or death of a parent or a guardian. So homeless means these people have a lack of fixed, regular, adequate nighttime residence. And if you talk to Jeff, he's very passionate about what he does. he can tell you stories, it will break your heart. He also told me that York City has an upswing from last year, 70% of homelessness. So, I will tell you this also, Jen Kemper, she tried to call the Coalition of Homelessness and they did not return her call. I emailed them and I did not hear from them back. And they're looking for volunteers. So Mark, I kinda is twofold. I want us to be aware of it, but whatever they're asking, I didn't know what they were asking of you. But maybe I would be cautious about, my thing is, like I've served with so many church boards, I don't like a meeting to just schedule the next meeting. I don't care how much food's there. But I think we should kind of look into this. I just wanted you to know though, 86 children, well, my kids didn't think that was over much. I feel like one child homeless is too much. I just really do.
You said, what, 3 or 4 years ago, it was like 25?
Yeah, it started COVID was 15, then 20, 28, 49. Last year was 71, this year's 86.
Quadruple, over quadruple.
It's a lot, so yeah. And the thing that I think a lot of people don't understand is, Jeff was telling me that if you have a child, let's say they went to Adams County, he cited this as something that happened, Adams County, they come to Northeastern, live with maybe a relative. If they want that child to be transported to Berks County or Adams County, they have every right to be transported there. That's within their rights. So for me, I'm like, the money we're spending on maybe transporting these children, if we could solve some of the problems with the homelessness, you know, maybe we're going to, I don't want to say break even, but we have to look at those funds too, what we're spending as, you know, as a school board has to decide decisions on that. So that's it. No club relief, no data centers, and I'm done.
All right, thank you. Those were some good comments. Thank you. Yeah, and with me working with Northern Regional, we do hear about a lot of homelessness.
So, I'm sorry, what's the action item out of that though? I just wanna make sure I'm clear, Mark.
So,
Reach out to the
we
homeless.
did that, action at the last meeting to join the effort.
Right.
I reached out to the county commissioner's office just to see, hey, what's the response rate? We have an email group among all the township managers, regional managers here in the county. I emailed all them and said, hey, listen, where are we? How many people are joining this? What's the involvement rate right now? And I got a lot of positive responses that a lot of municipalities, especially around us, have all joined. The county commissioners now are working to put together some sort of, I'll say coalition, some sort of ad hoc committee or group that will begin looking at this. Which is, when we talked about it, that was my thought, is that, you know, Lancaster County, where I've worked for years, has been dealing with homelessness at a higher rate than here. But it's coming here and it's growing here, and we know this. So I will stay involved, and I'm in touch with the county commissioner's office. They're working on setting up something now. As soon as I get more information, I'll let you guys know. But I told them that we're interested in at least being part of the process to see if we can help.
Okay.
And let them know we have people that want to volunteer.
Yeah.
And they just can't get any response.
Well, I'm gonna tell you another way you can help the school. We do fundraisers for canned food, peanut butter, cereal. They have a backpack program, most schools do.
Yeah.
I've worked in 2 public school systems. And they quietly fill them backpacks up every Friday, and the children take them home. So other children most of them have no idea that there's food going home in that backpack. So as a community, we could do food drives that could be taken to the school for them, so they have a nice pantry, and if they know a child needs it, they will give that extra, they will reach out to that parent.
So that's really interesting. So on Mark, is that possible we maybe have a link to the schools to see if there's things that we can do here in the township to help?
Absolutely.
Okay.
Talk to Jeff, he was very open.
Yeah, I'll definitely reach out to him. Thank you.
And he's very knowledgeable. They give extensive
Very-
training, they give extensive training to prepare future government.
Okay.
Okay, the next one, Melissa Meter.
Hello, Melissa Meter, 1995 Third Road. I did have a question. I know we're recording and attempting to record tonight. Are you guys also going to be doing that for the zoning and the other meetings that are held here? For like zoning and?
We'd like to, yes, like to start recording the whole.
Oh, okay.
And we do have a professional here to help us out
I
tonight.
did sneak in.
Yeah, this is Trace, he's our, yeah, just say hi.
Hi, everybody, my name is Trace. I'm with Hershey AV Solutions. We're from Mechanicsburg, Pennsylvania. We are audio, video, lighting, security systems integration company. We had done the original audio install here a number of years ago, but at the time it just needed to be kind of fleshed out from the original building build, and we realized there was just more interest in improving the system to something that was really to its fullest capabilities. And I'm here kind of monitoring to make sure that our settings and adjustments are hopefully the best sounding they can be for the system. So yeah, thank you.
Okay, awesome. And then I did actually have a question you might not be able to answer. I saw on the Facebook page, and also my mom asked me to ask as well, Comcast is currently our only internet provider. Oh, I see you cringe. You're already cringing, Mr. McDonald. We've had a lot of issues up Jug Road. We've called, we've requested refunds, we've had spotty service now for at least 2 weeks. And my biggest concern is for her, she lives up the road from me, that is her only means for telephone, because she lives in a blackout zone for cell phones. So, you know, our township in general doesn't always get the best cell phone service. So when her Comcast goes down, her home phone is down. So we've started to investigate some other options, and I saw someone actually posted a question about Glow Fiber up on one of the township unofficial Facebook pages, and someone had made a comment, I don't know if you're here tonight, I hope you are, but that the township is not approved to be able to have other communications come through. Can you speak a little bit more about that so we can kind of understand why we're stuck with Comcast as a monopoly?
Okay. Mark?
So,
Go ahead.
there's two federal laws that are related to this. One is the Telecommunication Act of, Steve, if you remember the year, way back. And that required that under certain things, the telephone company, the up and coming TV, and then cable as it came in, they were asked to pay a franchise fee to conduct commerce, for lack of a better term, inside the right of way. Glow Fiber and these other new ones don't fall under those definitions, so they are no longer required to get permission to be within our right of way. So they can come in and put, as they can co-locate and get permission to be in on whosever poles they are. They can co-locate either on the poles or bury and put things in without our permission. So we have no control or authority over the companies that are coming in to provide fiber.
Yeah,
Steve, I don't know if you want to add to that.
Yeah, Mark's right on. As I heard your question, I thought this is actually 180 the other way, where it is a situation where the township is saying you're not allowed to come in. We're not in a position to tell them to stay out if they want to come in, because there are protections for any utility that's regulated by the PUC, the Public Utility Commission. They can locate within public right-of-ways, and we have limited to no ability to tell them that they can't. We have some ability to tell them where in the public right-of-way, like we can regulate road cuts, but as Mark said, if Glow Fiber wakes up tomorrow and says, we want to bring fiber in, we're going to hang on, you know, the power lines, as long as they get permission from the power company to do so, they're in. Then they just need your permission as a property owner to bring the line in and hook up.
Oh, all right.
That's it.
Good to know, 'cause
Yeah, we need more options. Comcast is a highway robbery.
yeah, it's not only highway robbery, it's also inconsistent and getting to the point where they can't provide effective service for the safety of residents, so.
I do know there's 2 or 3 companies that are moving into South Central Pennsylvania right now. hard to get their infrastructure put in place. So it's coming, it's a slower process, but it is coming. So I would say just keep looking. I know Verizon Fios, I think, is here. It's a slower speed, but I think that may be an option.
Unfortunately, for some of us that are a little more on the rural side, 90% of those things that are available to those who are in neighborhoods is not available to us.
Right.
Same reason I called the gas company to stop sending me advertisements for natural gas. Because I said, where would my hookup be? And they said, oh, Lewisberry Road. And I said, oh, that's great. I said, are you gonna run the lines down Jug? And they said, no. I said, then stop mailing me. And stop tempting me with natural gas. So a lot of those things for any of us that are more rural are just not an option. We can't do like the satellite internet where we're at because of where we fall in the dip. I mean, half the time it rains in Conewago and it does not even rain on Jug Road. I don't understand that either. So we always say we're kind of in the nether over there.
Yeah, similar to natural gas, there are certain, your power and your water, and like if those types of utilities are located within your service area, they're basically required to service everybody. Glow fiber, and you're gonna see this now, even if glow fiber comes into the township, there is no obligation for them to serve everyone in the township. I'm actually seeing this in a couple of boroughs that I represent. They're coming into the boroughs and not even servicing the whole borough. They're just picking a couple of the main streets where they know they can get enough customers to pay for the line extension, and they're stopping. And maybe they'll come back later, but as of right now, yeah. So I think you're gonna see something similar. The only time I've seen the fiber internet or any of those other types of services, I know there are grants available to service providers that deal with providing to rural. I've done some research on this, and I understand the kind of the next thing that they're looking at as far as like the poverty line is concerned has to do with access to internet, whether you have it or not. It's going to be a big thing moving forward. So there's national grants available to provide fiber internet to areas that don't have cell service and don't have any other means. So at least you have Comcast. I know it's not the best, but you have something.
Yeah.
But I've seen it. I have a cabin up in the northern part of the state, and the electric company recently applied for that. Now we have fiber line on all of the power lines up in our, so I have better service in my cabin than I do in my house. A little bit crazy these days, but it's interesting where that's kind of going, and how, in some cases, the federal government or the state government are stepping in and trying to find grants to make sure that they don't have blackout zones in the state, because they recognize that as a big economic impact.
Yeah, we definitely have cell phone blackout areas in our area, so. Okay, that was it.
All right, thank you. All right, do we have anybody else? No problem with your, yeah. Okay, all right, we'll close the floor. And at this time, adoption of the agenda as prepared.
I'll make a motion to adopt the agenda as prepared.
All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Aye. And also on the Facebook, somebody said that I don't call for a nay vote or an opposition vote. And the thing is, if you make the motion, you second it, I say all in favor, say aye, and I know I said aye, there's no need to do that. Now, when I'm at Northern Regional, I'm chairperson there, but there's 11 people. So I will do it up there, but that's the only reason I don't do it here. And if anybody does have an opposition, if only two of us agree or whatever, then
Yeah,
the
and
next person will say okay.
yeah, and there's been times when either, Brian, myself, or even Loretta will say, when we're in opposition, we'll say, I have a problem with this, I'm not gonna vote in favor of it, so.
Yeah, so it's being redundant if I would ask for that, it would be nonsense. Okay, approval of the previous minutes, I just had a correction. But Aaron fixed that up for us. It was just a spelling.
Good, John?
I'm good.
I'll make a motion to approve previous minutes.
And I'll second that.
All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Aye. Okay. Planning and zoning. Public meeting to discuss the draft data center ordinance. Mark?
Yeah, so we did have a public meeting, I just want to keep bringing this up, we had a meeting on July 23rd. So we were working to set up the next meeting, we were working with our attorney now to make amendments to the existing ordinance, so we're hoping to get that locked down and in. We are working to get the sound engineer at the next meeting, so it's a bit of a coordinating process right now, we're trying to get it all down, as soon as we know the date and lock it in, again, we'll get it out to everybody, so you guys know when that is.
But it will be in August.
Yes.
Yeah,
It's
the
the
goal.
goal.
The goal.
Well, right now, we're looking at August 20th, so if you wanted to pencil that in right now.
It's a Thursday.
Thursday, August 20th, we're looking at that date.
Yeah. But get all our ducks in a row, make sure we have the church.
Yeah,
I think we'll need that also.
yes.
It's been a pretty good turnout, which is good.
Yeah, it was really good turnout. It may shift, if the church, is not available, so just be flexible with us, but we wanted to let you know that we want to try to get the 20th, nailed down, so we have our second meeting, so we keep evolving it and moving it along.
Right. So a couple other items on the planning and zoning one. Just want to let everyone know that I have met with HRG, whoops, sorry. C.S. Davidson. That's not a compliment. Met with C.S. Davidson to, go over the scope and the plan for the comp plan. Our first action item is to put together a steering committee to help drive the process forward. So, we plan on getting together again, getting that scheduled and get dates out to get people involved in the process. So that is coming, it's on its way.
When you say that, are we looking to try to get some public input on that?
Yes, absolutely, yeah. So the way I've done this in the past is maybe one person from the elected body, one person from the planning commission, maybe one or two staff, and then 3 or 4 residents at large to be on the committee, together with our engineer, which is C.S. Davidson, by the way, our engineer. To really get that moving, and then we'll bring in other people as we get into specific topics. When we talked, we realized that one of the biggest items that we were going to deal with is traffic and freight planning and all that stuff. So that's going to be the big item that we're going to focus on.
The one thing that we did, with the HRG involvement is have open houses, so maybe on different parts or aspects of the comprehensive plan, like major sections of it, we have an open house to really open it up for the public to come in and say, hey, these are some of the things that we're looking at, we want your input on these areas, because it was really interesting to see some of the feedback that people were writing down about certain aspects. Now, granted, what they'd like to see, and it was opened up to all 3 townships, but since this is more Conewago focused, it'd be great to get Conewago's input.
Yeah. And we'll look at whether we want to do an online survey and there's other tools we have, but we'll definitely get all that together and get that started. But we want to get the steering committee put together first.
That's great. That's absolutely.
At one of the recent meetings, somebody made a comment that things come up and then we as staff know what's going on with them and then we never bring it back. So I'm trying my best to get things back to you guys as we know about it. The Stroll Solar Farm application that I think you guys were aware of, that the farm off of Canal Road right here, Mill Creek, they have withdrawn their application, so that is no longer moving forward right now. We'll see if they're doing something else with it. In their email to me, they simply said that the numbers are working. I know some of the federal subsidies have dropped off with solar, so it just didn't work, so they had to withdraw their application. Yeah.
With the solar, when I was researching through our ordinance, we don't currently have an ordinance for solar, do we?
Not a separate standalone one that I know of.
Might be something we look at in the comprehensive plan.
Yeah. So something we can.
Just putting it out there that we're working on the data center, I'm not curious, but before the next, solar industrial complex tries to come in on more farmland, might be something to consider. Is that on the priority of ordinances? It's not really a farm.
Question?
Yeah, question. What about the one about Bridge Road? Is that still?
It's a potential, but we haven't had any, plans come at the Rexroth farm.
Right.
Which she's talking about.
Yeah.
So we don't have anything. I had a question.
Yes, for the upcoming workshop in August, you mentioned that you, have got a sound specialist. You know, apparently, we have kind of a countdown clock, in terms of our delay moratorium and coming up with a ordinance overlay. And I know it's potentially difficult to secure these specialists, but it might be wise, beyond the sound, I think most of us have also concerns with regards to air quality, the effects on our water supply, because most of us are tied into well water. I don't know if you can secure some of these so-called specialists to, for example, DEP.
Yeah, it's a really good point that you bring up, and we are working on other specialists. The reason why he highlighted the sound specialists, because we got them locked in, and I'll be honest with you, a lot of folks don't even want to be part of data center conversations. In fact, when we bring it up, it's gonna be about a data center. You guys read the news, it's a bloodbath on some of these meetings, so a lot of people don't wanna come to them. So we're trying to tell them it's a constructive meeting, and we're trying to figure out stuff. So, we're working on that piece, but I appreciate you bringing that up, but we are definitely.
Yeah, and county officials and them.
Oh, yeah, county officials told us, see you later, we don't want to.
Well, that's the problem, because, excuse me, the issue of trust brought up, I mean, knowledge is power. So the more all of us are informed, by various aspects of this project, the more willing we are to accept it or reject it.
Yeah, and with Margoni being here, what, 2 months now, he really has the ball rolling. We would have never gotten this far, and also give Derek also the credit also, so.
And even to the point where, even if you go out, most townships don't even have these open meetings that we're having. They meet and they create the ordinance. And so we're doing something that's even beyond what a lot of the other townships are doing. In fact, we've been called crazy for doing it, when they find out we're publicly trying to come up with something. But I think it's the right thing to do. I think everybody on this, board thinks it's the right thing to do. And after our first meeting, I feel a lot better that we're gonna get an ordinance that, is gonna be locked in place and protects all of us.
I think that we all together have a lot of information. We have a lot of things to share.
Yeah, I agree.
Together, we can build something strong that protects all of us.
Yeah.
Okay.
I just seen in, around Mechanicsburg, somewhere up there on the news tonight, one of the townships shot down a data center. So it might be worth looking how they did.
Yeah.
Okay,
Is
so
that Mechanicsburg?
Yeah, I'm not sure exactly where it was. There was some up there in that general area. Carlisle, maybe Carlisle.
did you find it, Mark? Let me know.
Yeah, there was two of them on Channel 8. There was two of them, and the one they approved, and then not the same township.
Yeah.
And one township put one in, and the other one said, no, we don't want you.
Okay.
How did they do it? I have no idea.
Yeah, if there's a way to do it,
Yeah,
we'll
right.
research it.
Yeah.
And the way that I've done this for many years, and a lot of municipalities do, is you never wanna be the first municipality out of the gate to write the first ordinance. I mean, somebody has to be. But then everyone looks at theirs and say, well, how can we improve on it? So each new ordinance that comes out, we look at it, we try to glean from it, we talk to each other. You did this, great, oh, you missed that piece. So it gets better as it goes. And I'll say this again, I said at the meeting on the 23rd. We will have an ordinance in place by the time this moratorium is up. Doesn't mean it's the only one, it doesn't mean it's the last version. If, once we get it in place, we feel like we've missed something, or we need to tighten it up even more, we can always amend it. So, we'll have a good one in place, we'll do the best we can, and then after that, we'll, if we have to, we'll keep looking at it.
I think Derek brought up a good point, right, in the meeting, is that data centers are gonna evolve, so our ordinances are gonna have to evolve as well.
Right, exactly. If you give your name and address, please.
Jason Chu, 85 Howard Creek Road.
Okay.
I was thinking back in the meeting that we had, the public meeting, and one thing I noticed you said that these, this data center, part of the zoning ordinance was they were gonna have to draw public water. One thing I didn't hear hit on was when they have to blow those things down so that they can, flush out stuff going to the waste treatment centers and really messing up their systems. And, I was just wondering if that's something that we might wanna look into, that if you have one of these come in and you find out your sewer treatment plant isn't capable of handling that waste, you know, we don't wanna be left with a bag that we have to upgrade our system to be able to handle. But there's anti-corrosive chemicals and all that stuff in there, and it's really messing some of their systems up, so. Something I didn't hear mentioned at the last meeting.
So are you talking about the normal maintenance of the data center?
Well, every so often they have to flush the lines out and put new liquid in there.
Right.
Because the anti-corrosive
Right.
chemicals are one of that.
So you talk about the coolant and
Yeah,
things
the
like
coolant
that?
systems and stuff that they're flushing out, and they were sending that to their local municipality waste treatment center, and they were finding out that they couldn't handle it. It was really screwing their system up, and they actually had to stop and say, we can't take it anymore. So that's just something, I didn't hear mentioned, I heard they mention that it was gonna come, they were gonna have to draw off of the public water system. Just didn't hear anything mentioned about the byproduct of where that stuff
Where it's
is.
gonna go.
And I don't know how they have to do that. Maybe they have to
It's
do
actually a
that.
really good point. I don't think, can we add that to our discussion?
Yeah,
I just heard a little more chatter about it across the wire, about some other states that have these things established that they're running into.
I can address some of that again. So much of this, so much of this comes down to due diligence of those permitting facilities like this, are the township included. The safeguards that are in place, if you've ever heard of an NPDES permit, a lot of times we talk about that as it relates to construction or treatment plants. If you're an industrial facility, which a data center could be categorized as, it all comes down to what processes are you doing on site and what potential byproducts do you have, what substance are you housing. DEP can require that an individual discharge permit, even if it's a discharge into a public sewer, if you're handling materials that could be damaging, DEP can require an individualized plan be placed on that facility. So that's kind of one stretch from the state. The other end of things would be our sewer treatment. The sewer authority would have to verify the capacity exists for whatever they need to discharge. And then as part of their planning module, you'll hear us actually act on a planning module tonight that deals with Carvana, where they had to identify what are their processes, what are they putting into the treatment plant, or what are they putting into the sewer lines versus what are they keeping on site and treating internally. It all goes into that study with what's actually discharged off the site. Our sewer authority would review that planning module, see what's coming their way, what they don't expect to come their way, and if there is a situation where, something hazardous ends up at the treatment plant and does some damage, there's recourse from our sewer authority against that data center to basically fix the damage they've done. I had a situation in another municipality. There's a large facility there that creates detergent, and one day our digester turned into a bubble bath. So that was a situation where they only had an approval to discharge a certain part per million of that, and all of a sudden our treatment plant, boom, got hit, killed all the bugs. It was not good. So yeah, the event was not good, but we did have recourse to go back, repair the treatment plant, and pay the bill. So we want to try to avoid any of this to happen, but as long as the proper reviews happen and the proper safeguards are put on what processes in place, there are systems to kind of go back and say, hey, wait, you just did this, but there's recourse. So, yep.
Thank you.
You bet.
You give your name, please.
Michelle Luckenbaugh, Bowers Ridge Road. I second, the point that was made by this gentleman. I also read that same write-up as to the effect of discharging pollutants periodically from the system. I was under the impression, and maybe this goes back to last year when our meetings first started, prospectively, we're, I guess, considering a so-called closed loop system for a data center. And I've done, I'm certainly not an expert on that, but I've done some reading, and periodically they have to expel, refresh their lines. And I'm just pointing out, and I think most of us are in an area where we don't have an excess of water in our water tables. We are mostly pretty close to being a drought situation. So I think that's a very important issue we have to look going forward. Again, those of us who depend upon our wells, give us a lot, more or less.
Okay, all right, Mark, did you have anything else?
Yeah, I'm still going, I got like another hour.
You got 5 minutes.
There is no zoning hearing board in August. One case that was there, has withdrawn, that was Stroll Solar, so, there's no meeting. Planning Commission meeting on the 27th of July, they did recommend approval of our vinyl land development plan, that will be coming up in the September meeting. And Freedom Square Phase 2, the review of that was tabled to the August 24th Planning Commission meeting. And finally, just a quick comment, we're seeing an increase in property owners who are doing work without permits. It's happening in the mobile home parks, it's happening in some of the neighborhoods, it's happening everywhere. So we're just gonna try to do a push to remind people that if you're doing certain work, you're building a deck that's over 30 inches tall, you're doing improvements to your house, you need a building permit. You're getting new carpeting in your house, God bless you, move all your furniture yourself. I'm not helping, but you do not need a permit for that kind of stuff. So if you have a question, let us know, but we're just seeing an increase, and we've had to send our building code official out a few times now to remind people they have to come in and get permits.
Yeah, she's been busy sending out letters.
Yeah.
She's not available tonight, but, she's really working out well for us.
Yeah, absolutely.
And, we also want to thank the public, because some of the public is letting us know about some of the work that's, happening.
Yeah.
That's not approved, so, we're following up on it.
And we don't wanna just drive around the township looking for things, but if we do see it, or somebody contacts us, we certainly look into it. We don't turn a blind eye on it, so.
No, and then I've often thought of staff that if you're going between A and B,
right,
look, keep your eyes open. If you see something that looks out of place, you don't have to stop, that's our job, but at least say, hey, Mark, you go check this out, or back here, you want to go out and look at it. So I think the more that we are observing and seeing you pick up stuff, the more we'll see these things, be able to get them addressed. So, thank you, Madam Chair, that's it.
Okay, all right, reports. We have police report and building report. Okay. Okay, our police report, Conewago Township in the last month, this is for the month of June, and we got a report in July. So Conewago Township was down 102 calls, which is really great. Also during June of 2026, Patrol and CID, Criminal Investigation Department, arrested 241 criminal defendants, which was 46 more arrested in June of 2025. Of the 241 arrests, 29 were felonies, 127 were misdemeanors, and 85 were summaries. So, also, a lot of the things on the reports are fraud, internet fraud, people using credit cards going to different places. In Conewago Township, a 57-year-old male was arrested after he pulled a knife on a male and threatened him in the parking lot of Dottie's. The male victim reported, well, it was a domestic, I'll just put it at that. Also, Heidelberg Township, there was a forklift accident where it was a fatal work accident. Manchester Township, their possession of a controlled substance in the first block of 11th Avenue while on a traffic stop and prior to be taken into custody for a felony warrant, a 45-year-old female ate a bag of methamphetamine. How do you say that word? Methamphetamines. Okay. The female became extremely high and was transported to the hospital. And for what you were saying, Mary Ann, there was an unattended death, in North York. A homeless person was living under I-83, under the bridge. And, his brother called 911 and reported that his brother passed out. And here, when he got to the, scene, he was deceased. And it said that he, recently became a drug addict. But yeah, homelessness is something that we're concerned about. Conewago Township, for the month, we had 117 less traffic complaints. And the one thing that increased, which I'm not quite sure why, animal complaints, it increased by 15 for the last month. So I'm not quite sure why, somebody's leaving their dog run loose or what, it's dog bites or what it was. Do you know, Jeremy?
It could be a number of things.
Yeah.
It could
Okay.
be deer struck, it could be,
All
a
right,
lot
we-
qualified.
We have a PACE unit, P-A-C-E. I'm not quite sure what that stands for, but it's a, special unit that serves, the 30 corridor where all the hotels are. And in the last month, there was 48 criminal arrests, 7 of them just in that motel, area. There were 7 felonies and 41 misdemeanors. Then we had, National Night Out, which was last night, and we had one of the biggest turnouts we ever had. It turned out really well. It was hot, but it turned out really well. Also, I swore in 3 new officers, last month. Tyler Lazowski, Luis Mendoza, and Joe Rodriguez. So they're on patrol as we speak. And there's a couple more coming in, because there are some retirements coming up. So, we'll end up with actually 72 officers when we're fully staffed.
73?
I believe we're at 69, and with Spring Grove Borough, it'll be 71, and then we'll see if that other borough joins. I think that would be 72.
Okay,
so.
yeah, there's another borough that is possibly gonna go with us. But on January the 1st, Spring Grove Borough is gonna join us. Okay, the headquarters at, on Canal Road, was sold, it was recently sold. And they had a $400,000, reserve on it, and it actually went for $580,000. So that was, really good, that'll go toward our new building. Well, it's a LLC that bought it, but, one of the members is, Dr. Pike. Dr. Pike is I just wonder if they asked me,
Dick got the name of Dr. Dan Piper, but my veterinarian.
yeah, I don't know, that'd be nice if they did, but, he said it was for an investment, so I'm not quite sure. But why would he buy it, you know? Well, let's see.
They don't own the veterinarian. They sold that a couple years ago.
Well, yes and no, they sold it, but they sold it through their LLC.
Yeah.
It's still theirs.
Yeah.
The Dover one, it's just.
Went through the
they went to a
LLC.
different entity.
Yeah, that makes sense.
It's a different entity.
Okay, also, Northern Regional applied for a grant to start a drone program. Right now, the officers have to go out and do a crash reconstruction, and they have to have flaggers, and they stand on the streets and do measurements and everything. This drone will actually measure hundreds and hundreds of pictures, and it's just, downloaded to the CAD system, and they don't have to be out in the street and do all that, they just fly the drone over. So, it's a program that is fully funded with this, grant. And, I think they're getting 2 large ones and then 3 that can go indoors. And also, they put an application in for an F-350 truck, and, that's gonna assist the Motor Carrier Safety Assistance Program, and it's for inspections, of trucks going through the area. So, maybe we could get some more, trucks off our streets. The grant was $485,000 and it's a, no-cost match. All right, and also they were looking at purchasing rifle-rated shields, to place in each of the officers' cars. And we did approve that, so they're gonna be having that. Do you guys have any questions? Jeremy, do you have anything else?
I think you hit it all.
Okay, all right, do I hear a motion to accept the reports?
I'll make a motion to approve the police report and building report.
I'll second that, and I'd like the building reports, actually, really cool, thank you.
Yeah, and I can see it's gonna get longer too. with
That's
that
okay,
going
I
out.
like the detail on it, so.
The report is what we're taking out of CSAT, the program we have, that manages this. We're putting more information in. I would tell you that, in training, Rebecca, I think some of the things were put in and they weren't quite coded right, so it didn't show up. We'll keep tweaking it. But I like that it shows you all the information, the amount collected and everything.
I like that, yeah, that's awesome, thank you.
Yep.
Okay. Okay. All these papers here are kind of lost. Okay, treasurer's report. Everybody had a chance to review that?
Yes, I did.
Yeah. The only two things that were, elevated on that was our workman's comp and our solicitor fee. But we've had a, oh, okay, well, maybe the engineer fees up too. Okay.
Maybe that's why they didn't put it on there.
Yeah, maybe that's why I didn't want to put it on there. Okay.
I'll make a motion to approve the treasurer's report.
I'll second.
All in favor, say aye.
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 Just a quick note too, they asked us to put the treasurer's reports on the website, put a picture up there on the PowerPoint, they're on the website now. So the way we've redesigned it, Aaron has done a fantastic job, is for each meeting, it'll be the agenda, the minutes, and the report all together in one thing. So you look by the date and then find the reports, so they're all now.
Yeah, Erin's, working out really well, we're happy to have her. It seems like right now we have the right people in the right places, so I'm really happy with that. Manager's report.
All right.
You already gave your report.
No, I was planning and zoning. I
Oh, okay.
6 hats.
Got it.
First one, and we talked about it already tonight, is we are doing the final tweaks and adjustments on the improvements to this room. The install went well. Tonight's kind of the first test run of everything. Today, looking at things, sounds like the sound's picking up, the camera's much better, so, hopefully we'll get this tweaked in and tightened up, but it will give us the ability to record these meetings properly and get them posted. We have several roads, that are still going to be paved this year. I put the list of the ones that we bid out, but we'll see how many we're going to actually do, but that's the list of the roads. They'll start sometime, probably in a week or so, and run into early September to get those done. We had our field meeting with PennDOT. I talked about it last meeting. We met with PennDOT District 8 maintenance representatives. We drove Conewago Trail from end to end. We looked at every little detail of things that we need to clean up and take care of before we turn it back. The state has passed the bill that would authorize the turn back to the state. And just so we're on the same page, this is us giving the Susquehanna Trail back to PennDOT, and then PennDOT giving a section of Bowers Bridge Road to us. So it's kind of a swap. We're trading off those two roads. So that's in process. The way the bill was written is that the Susquehanna Trail will be turned back at the completion of the improvements to Canal Road. But we are working now to see, hey, if we can get in front of that, we can get all of our work done. We're gonna see if we can get that traded sooner. So, but sooner in government speak is a year and a half, 2 years out, okay? The Canal Road Betterment Project, as of a week and a half ago, we have all the agreements signed, I believe all the right-of-way has been secured except for one last piece, Steve, or did we get them all? I think we have them all now, right? For Canal Road?
We have everything.
Yeah.
I mean, we still have to go through the,
Go through the final process, get the HOP, and we're working on that now, so.
yeah, basically what we have to do is put the money into escrow, and then we can move forward, but like, the money has to be in escrow before we can move forward.
Yeah, but making good progress, and it's getting there, so
Yeah.
we'll hopefully get that one completed. So all of you are aware, if you have been down to, Zion View Park, you see some pipes, yellow pipes sitting there in the parking lot. UGI is doing some upgrades to get ahead of the canal road improvement, honestly. So they're gonna be staging in the park, to, upgrade the gas lines down Suspend Trail and through the intersection there at Canal. So that will be torn up, be prepared, there's gonna be some work in that area. Exit 28 improvements, that's the southbound right lane. All the deeds are currently being transferred from the municipality, from Conewago Township to PennDOT. They're still hoping, I don't know if it can happen, they're hoping they can do construction this year yet, so they're pushing hard to get that one done. Last item on my list, and it's an action item for tonight, but I just wanted to talk about it briefly. We've been talking about codifying our ordinances, and in short, what that means is, a company takes them all, they scan them in, they digitize them, and they put them in a format that can be searched. You can do a word search, you can search for anything. A lot of municipalities use it. General Code has sent us a proposal. If that is approved tonight by the supervisors, we will get a chunk of the ordinances to them to get them cleaned up, sorted, and put online. And then we have a woman coming in, she's gonna start next week, who's gonna help us a few hours a week to scan in all the old ordinances. We get all those scanned in, so we're gonna sort through those, see which ones have been repealed or replaced or edited, and then get all those over to them, so then we can have a complete body of work of all of our laws and rules here in township, and it'll be online, so everyone can look at it and see it. So it's gonna take a little while to get it all in and done, but I feel good it's going in the right direction, so we're getting there.
But the person we have coming in, she's well versed in, the ordinance and everything, because she's been on the, zoning board for
She's been on the zoning hearing board,
many years.
and she worked for CJA Law for a while,
Yeah.
so she's good at handling confidential documents, so we feel comfortable having her.
Yeah, it's good.
Can I ask you a question about the paving?
Yeah.
I see you have Dog Tree Road on there, just on the corner, on that road every week. It's like 100 yards of road. Do you guys validate that those actually need paved, or are you just on a recirculating paving? I know you kind of smirk at that, Steve, but it's like.
We were talking about this.
I was like, I know you never, like, the people who live there didn't want the road paved, and paved it, and then now they have issues with people drag racing down Dog Tree Road.
It's a time of question we were talking about.
So we
Yeah,
just talked about
so-
that, and so our engineer, Derek, was, C.S. Davidson, right? You were C.S. Davidson? He and I will be going out, we'll look at all the roads, and that's the list that we have, but we will actually decide which ones. But I wanted to put it out there, just in case we decide to keep them all, they're there, but we'll probably be cutting the list down.
Well, a lot of these roads were paved the first time, and they never really had top coat put on to seal them off. And that, normally after a couple of years, we do something to seal them off to keep the moisture from going. And once the moisture gets in them, then they start breaking up. So, yeah, I just brought it up tonight that our previous manager had this list, and that's why they're on there, and I'm actually gonna go out.
We're gonna grab them.
Yeah, we're gonna go out and just address them to make sure they are. Yeah.
So look at, Anderson down from,
That's not our road.
That's state, that's state road.
That's state road.
Yeah, it is.
And most of the roads in here that are horrible are state roads. Yeah, our township roads are pretty good shape.
like the South Dorsey, right?
Well, I know some people were asking us about, why there's so many patches on, Copenhagen Road. And that is on the list for.
So that's doing base repair and stabilizing the road so that we can come back in next year and pave it, so that's his prep work for next year.
Yeah, 9 times out of 10, if y'all can actually get on the same wavelength and actually do all the pipe work before you pave the road, probably wouldn't be that bad off. Because y'all doing it, ass back. Okay, honestly, you got Miller pipeline comes in, let's throw this pipe in.
Well, we actually do contact all the utilities and ask them if there's something new coming in. And, that's what we did for all the roads.
Like the trail, that was just paved. right there near the intersection, Canal Road and the trail, that was just paved. That was, tell me it's true. All that was paved. And now you're gonna tear it back
Well,
up.
this Conewago improvement.
No, I get it,
Or the
I get
canal
it.
road betterment, that all
No,
came
I
up
get it, but
way after that was
the
done.
point, I was just trying to make.
Okay.
It gets done and then you gotta repave it again and then it.
Yeah, and we try to refrain from doing that. Okay, Mark, is that your last item?
For this one, yeah.
Okay.
How do you get added to that list for roads to be redone?
If you have a concern, just let me know, contact the township and we'll go out and look at it.
Okay, there's a road that has not been sealed and done, and it's townhouses and their development have been there forever.
Which road is that?
Kentwell Drive?
Kentwell Drive.
That's a whole.
That is a different story.
Well, it's a different, okay.
We know.
I can't hear the story of it, but I mean, I drive by that, and we walk through that, and it's not sealed, and that
Correct.
road's gonna deteriorate because it hasn't been sealed.
We're working on that one now, so that's not a township road yet, it never got dedicated to us, but we're working to try to get that whole project finished up best we can.
Yeah, and it's a mess. Okay. So let's report.
Everybody talks so much tonight, I feel like I'm not holding up my end of the bargain. All I was gonna talk about was a little bit of condemnation stuff, and Mark even covered that, so I don't have anything for tonight. I would just say, thank you to Mark, because all his projects, from updating the ordinances to all these things are long overdue, and by continuing to roll out, I appreciate it. That's a great job.
It certainly is, and we all thank you.
You're gonna make the donation to Marcus
I don't have anything.
Okay. All right, thank you. Does anybody see a difference in the township since Mark took over? And it's a really good positive, so, yeah, we do thank you. We don't want to thank you too much, because you'll want a raise. Okay.
Enjoy the thanks.
Yeah, just we'll put that in your pocket. Okay, engineers report.
Yeah, I know Steve and I don't get votes here, but if we did, we would vote yes on the codification, so. Absolutely, that's a good thing. I don't think I have anything specific under the engineer's report. I've got a lot of agenda items under new business to handle with some developments in process and everything else, so unless anybody has any questions for me, I'll hold off.
Okay. And that codification also will help us with the right to knows. And do a much more timely research on it.
Absolutely.
Okay, thank you, Derek. No unfinished business? New business, okay. The Miller subdivision, 95 Butter Road.
Good evening, Joshua George with Landworks Civil Design. Before you tonight is a simple subdivision plan. We are proposing to create one new lot on the property at 95 Butter Road. The purpose of the new lot is to construct a new single-family detached dwelling, although that is not part of the actual subdivision process. This is just to create a lot for that home. And the plan has been reviewed by Derek, recommended for approval by your Township Planning Commission. And I will not belabor the point. We'll simply ask for your approval at this point and turn it over to Derek or anybody else who might have any other questions or comments.
Okay, there is a waiver considered?
Yes, we have one waiver on here for just going directly to final plan.
Okay.
Before we act on that waiver, there's only one kind of lingering issue from the planning commission that came over here to the supervisors, and that was the basically creation of a separate driveway. So we talked about that at the planning commission. The current proposal at the time of the planning commission, and consistent with the resubmission of the plan, was this new lot. The applicant is proposing to serve with the existing driveway on the parent track. This is a father and son deal. I just brought up some concerns that I had, just this all works well and good now. In the future, you're talking about a shared use driveway agreement that needs to be in place. And I did research your ordinance, and you do have a requirement that all new lots have their own driveway. So I think this evening, we either need to make a decision that you are gonna require a second driveway, or the applicant needs to request a waiver of that section of saldo to permit the shared use. So, Josh, I don't know if you've had any more discussion with the applicant.
Was there a problem to have a separate driveway?
There really isn't, it just depends on where we locate the house in that lot area. So there's potential to move the driveway.
Yeah, the subdivision plan just needs to show the access. It wouldn't, all you need to show is a proposed access. You're not locked into the location of the driveway. That would come later with a driveway permit to the township. And that kind of regulates site distance, material, all those other things. But again, right now your plan is showing access to the new lot 2 from lot 1. That either needs some relief from the township supervisors to allow that to happen, or we just need a plan to clarify that lot 2 will have its own dedicated access from Butter Road.
Yeah, I think it would actually need to have its own driveway. What are your guys' thoughts?
The lane itself-
Right now, it's not a problem, but later on, if one lot gets sold, then it does create a problem.
There's plenty of frontage along the property to put a driveway on.
Yeah.
We were just hoping to do it the way it is to make it on the plans.
Yeah, it would be, I mean, the lane itself is about 350 feet, be about 600 feet. That would be dedicated as a right of way. But it could be just road. It's like you said, there is plenty of road frontage.
Right. Yeah, we've had situations where a shared driveway was necessary, whether it be because of road frontage or topography or site distance or anything else. I think in this situation, it's feasible. It's feasible to provide a new driveway for this lot. I just think it cleans it up. So it'd be my preference that the new lot stands alone, its own driveway.
Makes it difficult for EMS and fire too, sometimes when we've got a shared driveway to where we know where we're going even.
Again, we are getting a little bit more sophisticated with this stuff, that in these situations, we do put the brakes on this and say, all right, we won't endorse a subdivision plan unless a formal shared use driveway. That could be a fun discussion at the kitchen table for you guys. Figure out maintenance and ownership and all that stuff. But we have so many situations in the township right now where it's a common use driveway, and again, as long as everybody's getting along, it's great. The minute people don't get along is when the township starts getting phone calls, and it's really not our problem or fault. So I just look at these and I say, if I can avoid a future headache, I'd prefer that, but at a minimum, you have to have a legal agreement that defines use rights, access, maintenance, and all that other fun legal stuff.
We'll
And
separate.
And this is over a 10-acre.
You'll do a driveway.
We'll do a separate driveway.
Yeah, right. So that would clean everything up.
Yeah, and it's a 10-acre lot.
Correct. Yeah, I can only say you're saving, we have an idea where we, or somebody down the line, on Men's Mountain.
Okay, so, is everything addressed other than, us making the waiver for, the
Yeah,
final?
we have comment 3 on there. I think that's just a drafting update that needs to happen. It shows the right of way that we're looking for on Butter Road. So it does affect the way the front setbacks are drawn, doesn't show the required 25 foot from center line right of way, Josh. It just keeps the existing right of way.
Okay, yeah, the comment mentioned about Taylor Drive, not about Butter Road, which is what we updated.
Taylor Drive.
Which is the straight drive, it's across the street.
Oh, the comment says Butter Road. Comment number 3 from the July 29th letter.
I did not get the July 29th letter.
You did?
I have the June 25th letter.
Okay.
The July 29th letter.
Yeah, the July 29th letter talks about Butter Road, road classification as a minimum 50-foot right-of-way. The existing right-of-way is only 33 feet. We're not requiring any road widening because it's a minor subdivision plan, so no improvements, but we are requesting the additional right-of-way to give us that 50 feet.
Yeah.
I'll make sure you get this letter.
Yeah, I think that's fine, but yeah, I don't have the letter.
So that's it, those are the only 2. So we're asking for an update in the right-of-way, and honestly, if we can approve it with the condition that comment 4 be addressed with a separate driveway, then the action tonight is, I recommend approval of the waiver to go directly to final plans, if you want to go ahead and act on that.
Okay. And, were all the fees paid? Was the recreation fee paid? I see there were some.
I guess there would be a rec fee for a new lot. For a residential lot.
It's a 2,500
Okay.
recreation fee.
That was not in the
It
comment.
wasn't in my comment letter,
Okay.
it's more of an administrative end of things. So-
Typically, that would be done at the time of building permit, I would think.
Correct. You wouldn't charge that as part of the subdivision approval.
Okay.
No, okay.
Okay, all right, I thought it was, any time you subdivided. All right, do I hear a motion to, do the waiver of the submission to the final plan?
I'll make a motion to, approve, the waiver, for submission for final plan.
That's just the waiver though.
Yeah.
I'll second that.
All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Aye,
Okay, so your waiver's approved, and then I would recommend, the supervisors approve the plan, just contingent upon addressing the comments in the July 29th, 2026 dates.
okay, and that would be, eliminating number 4 in the letter.
No, number 4 stands, they're going to comply with it.
Oh, okay,
So the letter is, you have YCPC approval, I believe, at this point, so comment 1 is addressed. The owner has to sign the plan. Comment 3 is additional right-of-way for Butter Road, that will be taken care of. 4 is the separate driveway. And then the other 2 comments on here is acting on the waiver, which you've done. And number 1 is, under general comments, is just hey, this action is only for subdivision, not for construction, which Josh already addressed at the beginning. So basically, the subdivision plan will go through, the lot will be created, then
Okay.
any future building, they will come back to the township, apply for a building permit, any stormwater,
Yeah.
building codes, all
Okay.
that, and that's when the rec field goes.
Okay.
Because
All right.
just creating a lot doesn't create a
Okay.
residential impact on your rec, it's when the house goes in.
okay, all
I
right,
make a motion to approve the subdivision, as long as everything is addressed on the July 29th, 2026 letter from CSD. And that does add a separate driveway to the lot.
I'll second that.
all in favor, say aye. Aye,
Okay.
Very good, thank you for your time this evening.
thank you. Okay, next one?
Okay, Carvana.
Mm-hmm.
So Corey Green is here from Kinley Horn. So we have a planning module that was submitted for Carvana. I alluded to this a little bit earlier. Originally, this development came in looking for a planning module exemption, which is pretty typical when there has been capacity allocated for a project, which this project has, and the discharge of the project meets the requirements of the authority, which this one does as well. Because we are in a situation where our treatment plant is basically at capacity, anytime you're within this kind of zone at the end where we really can't plan on taking much more water, DEP will oftentimes not do a waiver based on sewer planning. They want you to do a more full-blown analysis of the actual hydraulics of what you're discharging, and that came in with this planning module. So Corey, if I missed anything, do you want to add anything?
Nope, I think you covered it.
Yeah. So it's been reviewed by the sewer authority and the sewer authority's engineer, Bukart Horn. I had a conversation with Jacob Seacrest this morning. We've seen the meetings. He recommends approval to the township, so we should approve this. In general, we look for the sewer authority to be our watchdog on this and make sure that it meets their requirements, but again, the approval authority under the 537 plan lands with us. So this is want to shout out to the sewer authority and Bukart. We've been open in communications and working well here. So we had a conversation about this. They're all comfortable. They said, hey, go ahead and approve it. Looks good.
Okay.
So here we are.
Okay, And I think I understood you saying you recycle the water?
Yes, yes, with the car washes,
Mhm.
yes, they do recycle water reclamation system, yes.
Okay, you guys have any questions? For resolution 2026-14?
No, I'm good. So, real quick, so, the sewer authority is good?
Yes.
Okay.
Yes. What's tricky here, again, the authority manages the system. Okay, they manage the treatment plant and the system. The legislation that requires us to provide the sewer service is under our jurisdiction.
Right.
So our approval is basically saying, yes, you're approved under our 537 plan, which sets our public sewer zone. So that's really all we're acting on tonight. There is still a component of this planning module that the authority has to sign off to say, we agree with the numbers that you're telling us, we agree with what you're sending our way, when, how, and what day. So all of the kind of the hard engineering lies within the sewer authority and the sewer authority's engineer.
That's a little bit tougher.
Yeah, correct, and that's why that's why we talk to them and say, hey, did you review all this hard stuff? The approval tonight is basically a policy approval.
Gotcha, okay.
So,
Yeah, because the sewer authority is a separate entity.
correct.
Yeah,
Okay.
this is really a three-part process. Like Derek said, it's a township sewer authority, and also York County Planning Commission. I'm literally taking, if you agree to sign these forms and move forward with the planning module, I then take all of that information and I have to send it to DEP
Yeah.
for their review.
Yeah,
For
that
their
gets beat up
review.
by DEPs.
Yeah.
What?
Yes.
Good luck.
Thank you.
Okay, do I hear a motion?
I'll make a motion, to approve resolution 2026-14, for the Carvana sewer module. I'll second that.
All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Aye. All right, thank you.
Thank you, I'll see you next month.
Okay.
All right, next,
Oldstone Way.
yeah, keep going here, so and Cameron Durr is here as he introduced himself earlier. Item C here deals with the Stonegate 4 development. This is basically, we're wrapping up out there. So Old Stone Way, it's a section of Old Stone Way, and Wicksfield Place. So if you've been out on, excuse me a second here, Green Springs. I knew it was Green Springs, and I just wanted to double check before I said it wrong. So, if you've traveled Green Springs lately, you'll see that the driveway that, with the new road that connects to Green Springs, that's part of Old Stone Way. That was just paved in the last month. And Wicksfield Place is an internal road that connects to Old Stone Way. So the developer has done all the proper procedures for, adopting this road, for municipality to adopt this road. We did a pre-paving inspection with a punch list of base areas, curbs, storm sewer, all these things that we needed to get fixed up. They fixed them. We inspected the road paving. We were satisfied with the work. So there are still some items in the development. So to be clear, there's kind of a separation here where we have road adoption, but we also have public security that covers us with anything outside of the curb line. So there's still some lights that need to go up. There's some plantings. There's some sidewalk. That stuff will still get done under our public security estimate. But the roads are done and in a condition where they're ready for us to take them. We would take ownership, they get added to our local fuels list, and we'll start plowing.
Is there much to be done beyond that here?
What do you mean?
Development wise?
No, that's it.
That's it.
That's it. I think all the homes are built, correct?
Yeah, I believe the last four are just about done.
Last four just
If I
about
remember.
done. And then you have the separate lot off of Green Springs, that's
That
one
was
that's
still
separate
single-family
single-family
home.
residential house,
Yeah.
that has to be done too. But within the development themselves, yeah, they're almost done, all construction, but again, the roads are done, we're just looking for a couple more lights, tree plantings and sidewalks. But sounds like in the next couple of months, you'll be wrapped up.
That's correct.
Okay, and we're gonna keep on top of that, right, Mark?
Absolutely.
It's not gonna be another heck well.
Well, this prevents it from being another chemical. It's done.
Okay.
That's the difference.
Alright.
The developer actually held up their obligation and completed all the required building improvements.
Okay, so you're looking for an adoption of those, two roads?
That's correct.
Okay.
I'll make a motion that we adopt and approve Old Stone Way and Wickfield Place.
And I'd like that to reflect a contingency to post the, maintenance bond. We've issued a letter, the developer offered the proper amounts, and we issued a letter to confirm that. The township is entitled to an 18-month maintenance bond, that we can hold after adoption, so that anything happens in the next year and a half. And that 18 months is set by the municipal planning code, that's not a number we pulled out of the air. But the next 18 months, if something happens, we have a financial guarantee that the developer will still be responsible for the road until it becomes ours. Okay? Get an 18-month bumper to bumper on the road.
Correct, and we'll drop that off for either Aaron or Rebecca to end up taking here probably in the next 2 weeks.
Okay. Did you make the motion?
Yep.
On
Yep.
that
Yeah,
committee?
so it's a motion to adopt contingent upon the posting of the maintenance bond.
There you got it.
And I'll second.
All in favor, say aye.
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 Thank you.
Aaron. All right, I guess this is, oh, Loretta, I'm jumping ahead of you, go ahead, you run the meeting.
It's your list, though.
It is.
Freedom Square.
Hey, thank you, okay. Following procedure. So, we talked a lot at the planning commission meeting this past month, as Freedom Square was on the agenda, the representative, did not attend. The time for us to act on the plan was going to expire, in mid-August. The, applicant has granted a time extension to the township to keep this plan active and under consideration, so.
What's happening over there? I mean,
Nothing.
Nothing? I mean,
Well, we were hopeful, we did invite the applicant and the engineer to be here this evening, but not here again. We have also, Mark has been proactive in requesting a meeting, with them, so they're supposed to be on the planning commission agenda for August. We hope they're there, we'd love to meet with them beforehand. Yeah, right now it is inactive. I made a request a week ago for an update on the start date, because the original restart date I was given for phase one was, they wanted to start again back in June. And obviously we were having issues, they were having issues with the sewer authority and getting the bonds in place, but.
do we know
Yeah.
anything about that? Any update on that?
Lynn, I don't know if you know, I'm pretty sure they're okay.
The escrow has been paid, yeah.
Okay.
Okay.
We went through the on the spot.
We went through the letter that, we sent to them.
Yeah.
Back in
Yeah,
June or May.
they were supposed to be here last month at the planning and just didn't show up.
And that was for phase two. What we're interested in, we're interested in where they're moving in phase two as far as planning wise, but also the construction, halt on phase one.
Yeah.
I requested an update for when phase one may start again, because, the tone through the summer was tomorrow. But we've received no update on the start date.
Yeah, I'm not really interested in phase two.
Yeah, that's what I was gonna say, that's why I asked what's happening with phase one.
Right.
Okay.
Okay.
So, yeah, all questions I would love for you to be able to have the answers to.
Okay, so this extension would go till December the 2nd,
Correct.
2026? Okay, do I hear a motion to, approve the extension for Freedom Square?
I'll make a motion to approve the extension for Freedom Square phase two.
I'll second that.
All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Aye. Okay, general code proposal for codification. Oh, you're done.
Ethan, my turn. So this is the proposal, we've been, I know General Code was approached a little while ago. I reached back out to them, we got an updated quote to do the work. They are ready to go. We've had a good conversation with Steve out there. And like I said earlier, what we looked at is we're gonna grab the key ordinances, the subdivision ordinances, zoning ordinance, the, junk car ordinance. Some of the other big ones, we have like 7 or 8 on our website, there's like 5 or 6 more that I gave to them that we already have scanned in, they're gonna grab those and get those all in. Then, as we clean up the old ordinances, we'll figure out what needs to be sent to them. A good example is, the public works guys were out, starting today, and they're using the CS Datum software, and they're marking all of our road signs. So they're going out, marking them, taking a picture of them, putting in a type post, when they get the information, they're putting in when they were installed. So once we have that complete list, we'll have it. All those signs have to be, in order to be enforced by the police department, they have to be backed by an ordinance. So there's like probably 10 or 11 ordinances out there that have different regulations regarding speeds on different roads. All those could be condensed down into one chapter, one ordinance in the codified code to clean it all up. So it won't be chapter, it will be a chapter on streets and right of ways, and within there'll be one section where you speed limits, and there'll be a table. So, getting all that together, I don't wanna spend money on general code doing all that work, I wanna do that as much as we can in-house. But this will get the main bulk of it up and online, so residents can see it, and then as we get the other ones in there, we'll send it off to them, we'll codify them. So there is a one-time cost of, it's 17, to have that number.
It's a little expensive, but it's well worth it.
It's well worth it, and then there's ongoing costs as we get new ordinances or other ordinances together, we'll send it off to.
Aaron, do you know what our budget is for digitizing this year? I was thinking we did,
Yeah, we approved
I
something.
know we took it like 30.
Yeah.
So as long as we're under that, I mean, or what's our total cost? What do you?
Well, it'll be 17, I'll say 18,000 round up, for this section. There's a $1,200 annual fee to maintain it. And then, as we send stuff in, it's a cost per ordinance. And most municipalities do it like 2 to 3 times a year, they'll touch up all the ordinances.
Right.
We don't do that many, so we would do it twice a year, whatever the need is. So the initial cost this year will be under 30.
And one other question. I know we're digitizing the ordinances, but are there any plans to digitize, the drawings and things like that? Are we in the process of working on that as well?
Yes, we'd love to get all those data done and scanned, kind of prioritizing things, I want to get the ordinances done first.
Yes. I'm good with that, I think that's maybe something we look at 2027, maybe put that in our budget, but if we can put it on our radar, because with our budget planning coming up in October, I'd like to be able to have that number so we can put it in our budget. Yes.
Yeah.
One of the other reasons I haven't jumped on that piece right away is DCED has grants that help municipalities with document management. So I'd rather go after some money from the state and see if we can get some help to get it started, because that is an expensive process.
It is, but hear me out. If we put it in the budget and we get the grants, then it's a positive, right? But I'd like to get it so we get started on it, because we've been talking about it for 2 or 3 years, right? Okay?
Yeah.
And also, you're working on the minute books and everything to get them, printed out.
Yeah, we're kind of, I say this nicely, the minute books need to be almost taken apart and redone. So we're gonna order some new books and get them put in properly so they're cleaned up and preserved. And as we do that, we're scanning all those in as well.
Yeah.
So that we have a digital copy. The state archives changed the rules a couple of years ago where they used to say that we always have to maintain them in perpetuity. But they said you had to have a paper copy. They recently changed now that the permanent copy can now be digital. So as we get things in and scans, it's good to keep the books, but once we get a digital copy and it's in a safe, secure place.
Yeah.
One
And
thing,
where's that gonna be backed up to?
well, general code has a piece on it that if we decide to go with it, we approve tonight, we get on board with general code, they have a module where you can upload public documents, and that's why a lot of municipalities put their agendas and minutes ultimately on the general code page, so all in one spot. So we're moving in the right direction to get there. get the ordinance done tonight, if it gets approved, we'll work on getting the documents, all the things scanned in, digitized, it just, you can ask the staff, drives me crazy. The maps sitting here, piles over here, boxes here, racks, I mean, it's, I'll give Fritz full credit for the system he put together. There's a folder for every parcel, and you can go in there, you can open up and see it. So much nicer to have all that scanned in, so you pull up a parcel, you have all of it. We'll get there, it's gonna take several years, but I do want to get started on that process.
Yeah, and then eventually it'll be accessible through the website and everything, correct?
Yeah, correct, understood, yep.
It all comes back to haunt us, doesn't it, Mary?
I'm a boomer, I'm right there with you.
All right, so do you need us to approve?
Yeah.
What do you need us to approve?
So the action tonight is just to approve us engaging with general code to start the codification process.
I'll make a motion to approve the engagement of the general code, for the codification of township ordinances.
I'll second it.
All in favor, say aye. Aye?
Aye.
Okay. Zoning hearing board, volunteer applications, we had a couple applications, for that, over the past, year. But Sherry Ripito wanted to put in an application. And, we were really impressed with all the research you do and everything. So, we'd like to make a nomination tonight to, appoint you to the board. Do I hear-
what there?
Do I hear a motion?
I don't know.
It's a lot of work. I mean, that's one of the busiest boards. It's probably 14 to 18 hours a week
Yeah.
of work and research. They report directly to me. I can assign them any duties. The duties as assigned is that last one I love. I know, that's right.
I've been in the education field for 20 years. You can't hear me.
Well, when you came in with your folder, your clip folder done in, and they're all in final speeds.
Conewago binder.
You have a Conewago binder, yeah.
So this
I
is,
still have it. All this needs.
Well, you'll need it.
this motion is actually to fill an unfulfilled term on the board, that Sharon Beck had been in. So this will be a short run. Initially, it's to complete the term that ends December 31st of 2026.
I think should be a great asset to the team.
And that board doesn't meet every month. They only meet when they have something. So far, we had, I think you said, Mark, three meetings this year?
I've gone to all of them.
Okay. There you go, your experience. Okay, do I hear that motion?
I'll make a motion to appoint Sherry Ripito to the zoning hearing board.
I'll second, since, John's questionable. Any opposition?
No opposition.
Okay, all in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Aye. Okay, welcome. We start in 10 minutes. Okay, and that's all of our new business, we're all done there, right?
Yep.
Okay, Food Truck Friday is coming this Friday up at, Mill Creek Park. I won't be there, I'm going to a training on, chairperson. It's the first training with, PSAPs, and it's, only open at 75 people. So it's in State College, so I'll be going tomorrow morning, and it's, Thursday and Friday. So, I'll have some information for you guys when I get back. All right, we were up at National Night Out last night, and, I got some information on our 250th anniversary of the nation. We had a tree donated to us in the spring, and it was donated by York County, and it's to commemorate the 250th anniversary. So we would like to put a plaque up there, and we would also like to, I'm talking we, would like to include the children at the elementary school, since it's already planted, and it's between the elementary school and the township building here. So we'd like to get the children involved and have them learn a little bit about the country, and have them over someday. We'll schedule it in the fall. We couldn't do it because the school was pretty much out before they planted the tree. So now we're gonna contact the principal and everything. But here's some of the brochures that we got. They're coloring books. Got them last night at National Night Out. And we can order as many of these as we want. And, we can order 100, 200, 500, whatever we want. And, it's no cost to us at all. It's actually all paid by the
We're trying to
residents.
give them away this.
Yeah.
They're like, take them all for your question. Take them all.
Yeah, so we're gonna order these and give them out and, have the children come over and do some kind of presentation. So we'll leave everybody know when we're gonna do that. We are having some electrical work, I don't think you mentioned any of that, up at Mill Creek and,
So Mill Creek, when we did the initial wave of improvements, we had talked about running, power to the first pavilion. We're meeting with Med-Ed to get a quote to get the power brought into the park, and then run into the pavilions. And then, as you know, we've been working on developing a memorial for the fallen officers, so we're looking at that as well. So there's several projects out there that you'll see us working on, but the first one is to get the power out there.
yeah. And I think, maybe next month we'll have, some of the concept of the monument that we're gonna put up there. Yeah. So, we still have some work to do.
A little bit of work.
Okay, you guys have anything else? You guys good?
One other thing, just if we could put it on, maybe in our September meeting, if we could talk about, you know how we have the drive-through Santa, I'd like to change that. I think
We are changing it.
Yeah, I'd like to talk about that.
We're actually, changing to a tree lighting ceremony.
Excellent.
And next week, Mark and I are going over to Brooks, over in Lancaster, to pick out a tree. And they're gonna dig it and follow it, and then our guys are gonna plant it. And that's what we're getting the electrical work done, so we can light the tree.
Well, that's for the park here, and then we're also doing electrical in Mill Creek. So
Yeah.
Public Works is gonna dig the trench and put the conduit in, then electricians can come in and work, of course.
Okay.
And that'll put the light on, that'll allow us to light up the tree back here, and then also put spotlights on the flags
Yeah.
in the park.
And we're gonna change them when flags pull out there.
Okay, and then we'll do like a tree lighting ceremony, and then
Yeah.
can we look at maybe, just having some township sponsored event, kind of a.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's the
And
plan.
probably even with the park.
I bet you do.
No, I'm serious, they're good ideas for that.
That's a zoning hearing board decision.
Yeah, that's a zoning hearing.
So I put this up here, I was starting to look at that, and I was writing something, and I said Zion View, and I looked it up, and I saw Zions with plural.
Yeah.
So I started digging into it, and all I found so far, and there's a whole lot of information on there, is there's two camps. Some say it's Zion singular, Zion View, and some say it's Zion's View.
Should I bring something to your attention?
Yeah.
Zion View is Cumberland County, look at that. That's not ours. That's not ours. I have actually messaged that website and told them, that is not Strangetown, that is New Cumberland, it says it right on there. I have messaged them.
That's the one that's right out here.
Yeah, well, that says New Cumberland, it doesn't say us.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. So if anyone has any information and research on that, I don't know why I've gotten kind of caught off on that rabbit hole, but it's just kind of a fun little thing to research in the history. I have no idea.
Did anybody ever notice that? Is that what that one out there said?
Yeah, and that was on the cover of one of the books that somebody wrote.
Yeah,
that-
it is
that
on one of the books
It
that-
is about Conewago Township.
Yeah. Yeah, and also that was on our old, white brick wall we had out
Yeah.
front here. So that's where they were taken off of.
So anyone that has any historical documents, any research on that, let me know.
I think that's also a issue.
I think that's a zoning hearing board issue. I think the new person has to.
Yeah. All right. Okay, anybody got anything else? We're good? Do I hear a motion to adjourn? Okay, meeting adjourned. Thank you, everybody.
Thank you.